What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Raga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Leo sun sign friends. If you're born between the dates of July 23rd and August 22nd, then you are a Leo sun sign, and this video is for you. In today's reading, we're going to be doing a look at the energies of love and romance for all the Leo sun signs. This reading is going to be split up into two parts. First, I'm going to do this reading for those who are already in a relationship, and then I'm going to do a reading for those who are single. So if you're one or the other, then you can skip to that part of the video. And yeah, so this spread should be pretty eye-opening. It'll give you clues as to what your energies are, energies of your partner, of blockages you may have. You'll see. It's going to be eye-opening. Before we get too far into this, I'd like to introduce you to some of my crystal friends here. I've got a rhodonite sphere, and this crystal is all about giving to others, giving love. So that's going to help us. I've got my sodalite sphere here, which is a great crystal to help, with psychic abilities. So it's going to help me with my tarot reading today. And I've also got rose quartz. Y'all know about rose quartz and the emanations of love. So these crystals are going to impart their energies on this reading, hopefully, and make it the best reading possible. So I will be using the Llewellyn Classic. This is a cartoony deck that I did a review on, if you want to go see that. And it's a fun deck. So if you would, please give me a moment to center myself and ask the tarot cards a question. What are the energies surrounding Leo sun signs who are currently in a relationship? Alright, that ought to do it. Okay. We cut the deck, and we're going to deal out 5 cards. Alright, and we're also going to ask the Earth Magic Oracle what message it has for Leo sun signs who are in a relationship at this time. What message for Leo sun signs who are currently in a relationship? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at these cards individually, then we're going to go through them one by one as a whole and see what they have to say. This first card here represents your energy, and we've got the Page of Cups. Okay, I'm getting the feeling here that a lot of you are feeling pretty emotional right now. Remember, this is a general overall reading, and it's not everything's going to apply to you specifically. So take what works for you, leave the rest. Try to interpret the cards and what I'm saying in your own way. But I get the feeling that a lot of you Leos who are in a relationship right now are feeling a little bit overly emotional. And emotional in the way that you're actually trying to express your emotions a little bit. But you're not doing it in the most efficient way. A little bit, I don't know how to explain this. How do I explain this? Think of like immaturity, and maybe you're acting out on your emotions a little bit, or you're expressing them not in the most clear way to your partner that kind of confuses them, is the feeling I'm getting here. So you're feeling very deeply, but you're not expressing yourself 100% the way that you should be or want to be, I guess, is the feeling I'm getting from this card. So I think maybe an examination of how you're expressing your emotions might serve you at this point, to see if you're coming across in the way that you hope to be coming across, possibly. We'll see what this card says. This card represents your partner's energy, and we've got the Chariot. Okay, I get the feeling that your partner is ready to take the next step in your relationship. Obviously, if you're married with kids, then I don't know, maybe relationships still evolve at that point in the relationship. I don't know, but I think your partner is ready to take the next step in evolution of the relationship at this time. They whether it's, you could be at the start of the relationship, and this means moving in together, or this could be getting married. This could be having kids. I don't know. It depends on the stage of your relationship. But I get the feeling that your partner is starting to realize that it's time to go to the next level. It's time to move forward. Maybe they're not 100% there yet, but maybe they're starting to get there, I feel like. And maybe they're not going to like express it to you at this point, but I do get the feeling that a lot of your partners are starting to come to the realization that it's time to move forward in this relationship. It's time to move to the next step. And for some of you, this could mean a breakup, but I get a more feeling of evolving in a positive way. So take that as you will. This card here represents what is working in the relationship. We've got the Three of Wands. I feel like there's some good groundwork in this relationship. You guys have put a lot of work into your relationships, and as a result, I think you're very future thinking, forward thinking, and you kind of have a desire to see this relationship move into the future. So I think the foundation, the base is there, and you've created something that has the potential to blossom, and that takes work to make that creation. So I get the feeling that you're very good at that, and as a group, as a duo, you guys are very forward thinking. You think about the future a lot, about where you want to be, and I think that's something that's working in this relationship. You're synergistic, you're on board with each other, and you have a clear vision of where this relationship is headed. Maybe you have differing opinions, but at least you're like expressing. You're expressive in that way, so that's just communication there. So interesting, yeah. All right, this card here represents what's not working in this relationship, and we've got Judgment. Okay, I'm getting two different senses from this card. Maybe one of these applies to you, but the first sense is that there's kind of a spiritual imbalance. Maybe the core spiritual beliefs are a little bit different between you and your partner, and that's causing some rift between you guys. Let me study this card for a second. Maybe there needs to be some sort of spiritual awakening for one of you, or maybe both of you. Maybe that there's a spiritual awakening that's either occurring or is about to occur, or maybe it needs to occur. But the feeling I'm getting is that spiritually, there's kind of, you guys are a little off kilter. Well, maybe one or both of you. I'm not really sure. But there needs to be a sort of a rebirth in order for this relationship to move forward. And I think that's going to come in the form of a spiritual nature. So, who knows how spirit works, okay? It's beyond me. I can't really say how spirit's going to communicate with you and your partner. But I do feel like there's some aspect of the spiritual side that needs to either change or come forth or come out in order for this relationship to be prosperous. So that's interesting. That's what's not working. And this card represents where you're headed. And we've got the Five of Pentacles. Okay, I just read the cards as I see them, my friends. And Five of Pentacles, not the best card. I'll say that right now. This card is about poverty. It's about being ostracized, left out in the cold. So I do see some hardships coming up in your relationship. But I want you guys to remember, these people are left out in the cold. They're hungry. They have no money. But you know what? They have each other. And I think this card is about realizing what you have and really being so grateful for that. If you have someone who loves you, you don't need money, you don't need shelter, you don't need food, okay? I mean, you kind of do, but those things will, there's not as important as love, I think. So yes, there's always food to eat, there's always shelter to be had, but finding love is a very special thing. So if you do move into hardships in this relationship in the future, realize that you have someone there who's going to support you, who's with you, who cares about you, and I think that's going to be what you need to get through any hardships that you may encounter, okay? That's all you're going to ever need to get through any hardships. If you have love, there's no hardship that could really stand in your way. Yeah, okay. So looking at this reading as a whole, I do see some sort of imbalance between you and your partner as far as maybe even moral beliefs. I do see you being very expressive, my Leo friend, and your partner is starting to see the next step in the relationship. So I do see a progression, an evolution coming. You guys are very forward thinking. You set your sights on the future, which is good, but don't forget to live in the present moment as well, and make sure you're making your present moments as best as you can. But I think what's not working is there's a difference in spirituality in a lot of your relationships, and one of you is going to have to catch up to the other in order for this to work out. And I do see some hardships resulting, and maybe as a result of that. But remember that there's love there, and love can conquer anything. So just be very grateful for the relationship that you have. All right, let's take a look at the Earth Magic Oracle. It had a message for Leo sun signs who are in a relationship at this time, and we got Spring Equinox Rebirth. This really, I used the word rebirth early in this reading because it goes hand in hand with the Judgment card. And I think that's something to really keep in mind here. In order to make this next step, the chariot represents, the next step in the relationship, I think there's going to have to be a rebirth first. There's going to be a period of self-discovery in order for you guys to move forward as a whole. This could be between you or your partner or both. I don't know. But I do see some sort of awakening coming. A reawakening maybe, and a spiritual evolution of some kind on the horizon. And I think that's necessary for this relationship to move forward. Some revelations to come out that are going to help you guys realize how important you are to each other. Very interesting. Spring Equinox is popping up all over my readings this month, everywhere. This card is just, I can't get rid of it. Okay, that's why I was like, whoa, this card again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I hope that helps. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the reading for those Leo sun signs who are single. Alright, that ought to do it. Cut the deck, 5 cards. Alright, we're also going to use the Earth Magic Oracle to ask it what message does it have for those Leo sun signs who are currently single. Message for Leo sun signs who are single. And we will look at that card at the end. Alright, so we're going to look at these cards individually and then look at them as a whole to see what they're saying. The first card we have here represents your current energy. We've got the Queen of Wands, and yeah, the Queen of Wands, we got the lion here, we got the lion here, the lion here, the cat here. I get the feeling that for those who are single, you are feeling good. You're feeling independent. You're feeling like whether you're in a relationship or not, you are the center of attention. You deserve to be the center of attention, and you're going to be progressing forward no matter what. So I'm getting the Leo vibes strong from this card. And what I know of Leos is that you guys are independent people, and so I get the feeling that a lot of you are maybe not in a relationship by choice. You're single by choice for a lot of you. And you're on the right path. You're doing what you feel like is necessary to be doing, and I don't see any like depression here. I'm sure some of you are, but I mean, I don't see much sadness. I just see some independence, a lot of independence coming from this card. Remember, this is a general overall reading. Not everything's going to apply to you, so take what makes sense for you, leave the rest. All right, this card here represents blockages you may currently have on your way to finding a romantic relationship, and we've got the 9 of Pentacles. And I think this card goes hand in hand with the other card. The 9 of Pentacles is about satisfaction. I think a lot of you are pretty satisfied where you're at. You're doing great at work. You're doing great, with your friends. And maybe something that's holding a lot of you back is kind of complacency and, satisfaction for where you're at in life. Maybe for some of you, deep down, I think something's missing. And that might be, you know, something that you're repressing, possibly. But I think a blockage here is just personal satisfaction and complacency with where you're at now. You have everything you need and everything you want, and everything's going great for you right now. So a lot of you aren't driven to find a partner, which is fine. There's no problems with that. But that is what's stopping a lot of you from finding a partner. And let's see what else we got here. This is what you can improve. Aha. So we got the Fool, and I think what you can improve is the willingness to take risks, to go out on a limb, and to take those first steps in finding a partner. If you're wanting to find a partner, you don't know how to do it, I think this card is telling you that it's time to take some big risks. It's time to jump off a cliff. These risks could be small, as far as like maybe like going to a bar and just initiating conversation, or it could be something bigger, like starting a new hobby that you really always wanted to start, but you never had the guts to, and you know, maybe possibly meeting someone through that, or going on an adventure or a vacation, maybe even by yourself, which will open up a whole bunch of possibilities for you to meet people. So this card is about adventure is about taking risks, and I think that's what you need to improve on, is just the willingness to put yourself out there and go out on a limb, and not be afraid to take chances. Even if you know, it might work out to your detriment, at least you tried, right? Okay, this card here represents what you need to avoid. And we've got the Five of Wands. Okay, Leos, you are a pretty strong group. You're pretty strong-willed, and you're self-assured, a lot of you. Maybe not all of you, but you know, a lot of you are self-assured. And I think this card is saying that sometimes that can lead to little petty squabbles. You know what I mean? Lead to little... I hate to use the word fighting. It's not really fighting, but there really is no other word to explain it. When you and another person or another group of people kind of clash a little bit. And I think that's what you need to let go of. Be more accepting of other people. Possibly, you know, a lot of you may have very high standards, going back to the Nine of Pentacles, very high standards for other people, and you hold people in high standards, the standards that you hold for yourself, and not everyone has those standards, and I think that's something that you can improve on, is just accepting people for who they are, and not trying to either change them or try to, you know, even change yourself. You know, don't clash with those people. Accept those people for who they are, and realize that they're a unique thing and you're a unique thing, and not everyone should be the same. And I think that's going to help you a little bit, though. But that is what you can avoid, is just fighting with other people and clashing with other people. And just be more accepting of people. You never know who's going to be the right match for you. You never know. You might be very shocked. So if you're going to have these certain, you know, criteria for a partner, maybe this card is saying you need to let those go a little bit, okay? This last card represents where you are headed, and we've got the Emperor. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I get the feeling of relationship. You know, the Emperor is about restriction. It's about rules, regulations. It's about maybe making some compromises. So I am getting the feeling of a structured relationship from this. I do see a relationship coming for a lot of you, and it's going to be a little bit more structured than you were anticipating. You know, the free-flowing Leo wants to do his or her own thing, but this feels a little bit more constrictive. So I don't know if this next relationship that you engage in will be completely right for you. It'll feel different. I definitely feel it'll feel different, and it might work for you. Maybe some of you are looking for that kind of regiment. I don't know the words I'm trying to use. Looking for that kind of structure in your life and in your relationship. But I do get the feeling that the next relationship is going to bring a lot of structure, and it's going to maybe put you on a certain path and help you to stay on that path. So it's going to be beneficial for some of you. For others, I think you might feel restricted. So I hate to say that your next relationship will not work. I'm just saying that it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be something new, I feel like, and it's going to be... It could help you, it could hurt you. I don't know. That's up to you. You tell me, okay? So looking back on this as a whole, I see a lot of wand energy. Here, and the Fool's got a wand. So And this guy's got like a thing. So definitely I feel like a lot of action is happening in your lives. I do feel like a lot of you are pretty satisfied with where you're at. You're very independent, and you're doing your own thing, and that's great. But if you do want to find a relationship, you're going to have to decide first that you want one. And second, you're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to go on adventures. You're going to have to put yourself out there in order to meet someone that's like you. Because you're an adventurous person, right? So you want to do adventures to meet other adventurous people, but kind of let your criteria down a little bit. Don't fight with other people. Don't engage in petty squabbles, because it's blocking you basically. And I do see the future moving towards structure a little bit, so take that how you will. Alright, the last card we're going to look at is the Earth Magic Oracle, and this told us a message for Leos who are single at this time. We've got Green Man Synergy. Oh wow, interesting. This card, the message that this card is saying is that you need to realize that you're part of a greater whole. Yes, you're independent. Yes, you do your own thing, but you're still part of this thing we call the human race. And you have to figure out how you fit in to this big nature of a society that we have. And you can't be a maverick you can, but even as a maverick, you still have a place in this society and a role to play. And so the message here for those singles is that try to figure out what your role is, where you fit in. And I think that'll help you to find a partner, because you're going to find someone who's like you once you understand yourself a little bit more. So you need to understand your true fundamental nature in order to understand who you are and where you fit in. And that's what this card is suggesting. It's time to really do some self-discovering and see who you truly are deep down, so that you can attract someone who is just like you. Alright, that is going to be the reading for today for those Leos, sun signs who are in a relationship and single, and I hope you got something out of that, so I really do appreciate it. Remember, this is a general overall reading. If you want a reading that's more tailored just for you, then head on over to my Etsy shop. I'll put the link in the description and the card. We have a bunch of readings over there that you can choose from, and we can get down to the nitty gritty of your issues together, so that we shed some illuminations. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know that I did something right and you got something out of it and you enjoyed it, and all those good things. If you have anything to say, please put those in the comment section below. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything that you have to say about this reading. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about it. And if you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I offer these Tarotscope readings bi-monthly, and I also sprinkle a bunch of other videos in between, so you don't want to miss out on those. Alright, that's going to do it for me today. Leos, you got it going on. Alright, I wish you all the luck in your relationships. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.